We were a bit confused about all the fans, or I'd say lack thereof of all the fans in Stadium 2 while Rybakina was playing. As you can see from videos and pictures, if we were to say that there are hundreds of people watching this match, that would be a stretch.
Fergus, I cannot play Rafa anymore, but if he would make like 10 times time relation to Rafa, because like you need to have some common sense sometimes.
And seeing the Brazilian fans, I mean, that's what you kind of want, you know. You want that new atmosphere. Same for Eala, having all the Philippine fans from coming, you know, to support her. It's.
The drama surrounding the Indian Wells Open has become one of the biggest talking points in tennis, especially after the early exit of rising star Alex Eala. Tournament director Tommy Haas suddenly found himself dealing with a difficult situation as crowd excitement and ticket demand reportedly dropped following Eala's elimination. Before that moment, the atmosphere around the tournament had been extraordinary. Eala, the young talent from the Philippines, arrived at Indian Wells with massive attention from fans around the world. Her opening match against Diana Yastremska generated huge interest, with spectators eager to see one of the most talked-about rising players in women's tennis. The demand for tickets to watch Eala play became a major story in itself. Prices surged as fans rushed to secure seats, and the buzz around her matches created a sense that something special was happening at the tournament. For organizers, it was a moment that highlighted just how powerful a breakout star can be in attracting attention to the sport. However, when Eala's run in the event came to an end, the situation shifted quickly. With the excitement surrounding her matches gone, organizers reportedly began searching for ways to bring that same energy back to the venue. At the same time, there were conversations about whether the Women's Tennis Association could have done more to highlight and promote the massive interest surrounding Eala's rise. Regardless of the debate, one thing became clear during the tournament: Alex Eala's presence had a real impact. Her matches drew crowds, created buzz, and sparked conversations across the tennis world. For many fans, her performances were not just another part of the schedule, they were the main event. Tennis Fire.
Indian Wells set a single-day attendance record of more than 58,000 fans on the first Friday.
The excitement around Alex Eala at the Indian Wells Open was not just about statistics or match results, it was about the atmosphere she created. When Eala stepped onto the court, the energy inside the stadium felt different. Fans came not only to watch a tennis match but to experience the moment of a rising star making her mark on the sport. Reports suggested that tens of thousands of fans packed the venue, creating an electric environment as the young Filipina sensation played. The crowd's passion and enthusiasm were impossible to ignore. For a tournament with the prestige and history of Indian Wells, that level of excitement was a huge moment. Tournament director Tommy Haas was understandably thrilled to see the stadium so alive with energy, but the story quickly took an unexpected turn. Soon after Eala's run in the tournament ended, the atmosphere reportedly shifted. The stands that had been filled with cheering fans suddenly felt much quieter. Interest seemed to drop, and the energy that had surrounded her matches began to fade. It almost felt as if the magic she brought to the tournament had disappeared overnight. The crowds that had once packed the stadium to support Alex Eala were no longer there in the same numbers, leaving organizers searching for ways to bring that excitement back. Moments like this show how powerful a rising star's impact can be. Eala wasn't just playing matches, she was creating an experience for fans. And that kind of connection between a player and the crowd is something every tournament hopes to capture. Tennis Fire.
A bit confused about all the fans, or I'd say lack thereof of all the fans in Stadium 2 while Rybakina was playing. As you can see from videos and pictures, if we were to say that there are hundreds of people watching this match, that would be a stretch.
The situation at the Indian Wells Open reportedly became tense after the elimination of rising star Alex Eala. Tournament director Tommy Haas had been enjoying the excitement and large crowds that came with Eala's matches, but once she was out of the draw, the energy in the stadium noticeably dropped. With attendance thinning out, Haas was said to be scrambling for ways to bring fans back and restore the atmosphere that had surrounded her matches. One idea that reportedly surfaced was organizing 1 or 2 special exhibition matches featuring Alex Eala. The goal would be simple: put her back on the court, even if it wasn't part of the official tournament schedule, to reignite the excitement among fans. There were even discussions about whether an exhibition appearance before the Miami Open could help revive interest and ticket demand. The reaction from the tennis community has been fascinating because Eala's rise has been anything but ordinary. Earlier in the season at the Australian Open, controversy emerged when many fans felt she was placed on smaller courts despite the huge demand to watch her play. Long lines formed as supporters tried to get a glimpse of the Filipina star, which only intensified the conversation about how her growing popularity was being handled by the Women's Tennis Association. Rather than slowing the momentum, those moments seemed to make the excitement around Eala even stronger. Fans wanted more opportunities to watch her compete, and the hype surrounding her performances continued to grow. Still, her rise is not just about attention or controversy. At the center of it all is her talent and dedication to the game. When a legend like Novak Djokovic praises a young player, it naturally catches the tennis world's attention. Djokovic reportedly said that watching Eala on television is impressive, but seeing her play live is even better, highlighting the athleticism and energy she brings to the court. Comments like that carry real weight. A spec.
Eala, that's been a talk, and which is understandable. There's some players coming from respective countries, like she's coming from Philippines, which is now a big deal. She's been the biggest ever, tennis player from that country, which is a big country, and there's a big interest.
Despite all the praise surrounding Alex Eala, there has also been noticeable tension behind the scenes at the Indian Wells Open. Tournament director Tommy Haas has reportedly grown frustrated with how the situation around Eala's growing popularity has been handled. At first, the concern was mainly about ticket sales and crowd energy. But the discussion has now shifted toward a bigger issue: whether the WTA Tour fully recognized the huge demand to see Eala compete. According to Haas's perspective, the organization may have missed a major opportunity to showcase one of the most exciting rising stars in the sport. Instead of placing her matches on larger courts or promoting her momentum, critics believe her popularity was somewhat downplayed, something that could have limited the overall excitement around the tournament. Haas is not the only person who has spoken about the situation. Fans across Asia and many people within the tennis community have expressed admiration for Eala and the energy she brings to the sport. Her matches have drawn passionate crowds, showing that interest in her rise is not just local but international. Former world number 1 Maria Sharapova has also highlighted the broader meaning behind Eala's success. She pointed out that Eala's rise is about more than just individual wins or rankings. It represents something bigger: greater visibility and representation for Asian athletes in professional tennis. For many years, the sport has been largely dominated by players from Europe and North America. Although tennis has become more global, seeing Asian players reach the very top levels of women's tennis has been relatively rare. That is why Eala's emergence feels significant to many fans. Her journey is inspiring a new generation of players and supporters who now feel more connected to the sport, and as her popularity continues to grow, the conversation around how the tennis world supports and promotes rising talents like Alex Eala is likely to continue. The
victories are so special, but if you treat them too high, and you treat the tough moments as a really big low in your career, it's hard to find that happy medium, and I think that's what that sweet spot is.
Here is a clean, corrected, and smooth YouTube-style paragraph based on your script. I also fixed the names and grammar while keeping the dramatic storytelling style for your video. The rise of Alex Eala is becoming bigger than just tennis. According to tennis legend Maria Sharapova, Eala is inspiring an entirely new generation of fans, especially across Asia, who may have never felt truly represented in professional tennis before. Sharapova believes that Eala is changing that narrative, bringing a new wave of enthusiasm, passion, and pride to the sport. Fans from all over Asia are now rallying behind her, and her success is helping break barriers while showing young athletes that they belong on the biggest stages in the world. But while Eala's influence keeps growing, the situation around the Indian Wells Open has taken an interesting turn. Tournament director Tommy Haas reportedly found himself dealing with falling stadium energy and declining ticket excitement after Eala's elimination. With the tournament nearing its final stages, Haas is said to be exploring a last-ditch idea to reignite the atmosphere, an exhibition match featuring Alex Eala. The plan is simple but powerful. Bring Eala back onto the court, even if only for a special exhibition appearance, and allow the fans to experience the energy she creates. Because by now, it's clear that the Eala effect is real. Whenever she plays, the crowd shows up. The excitement returns. The stadium comes alive. Haas understands this momentum and hopes that showcasing Eala again could reignite the passion of the crowd before the women's final. However, there is also reported frustration behind the scenes. Some believe the WTA Tour has not fully embraced or promoted Eala's rapidly growing popularity. Whether that criticism is fair or not, one thing is undeniable: Alex Eala's rise is becoming one of the most compelling stories in women's tennis. Her star power continues to grow, fans are rallying behind her worldwide.